one to you.
That was gorgeous.
Take two.
Intense. So good.
That's awesome.
Beautiful piece. Who's that by?
Well, a lot of
Brighetti.
these are by like lots of different random people, and lots of different people do different variations on them.
Right, sure.
The one that I have in my head, I've just forgotten the band, what it's called. It's a more contemporary band that I get my version in my head from.
Yeah.
Buenos, it means dreams, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Daydreams?
that's it. Yeah, dreaming. Yeah, swingers.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So, yeah.
Tell me about tango. How tango get into your life? I love tango.
It's a big question. I studied classical music.
Yeah.
And I think it was there that I was exposed to Piazzolla.
Right.
In particular, Oblivion. Really like,
oh,
you know,
that was that's the one. That's the one.
So oh, we should play that.
Yeah.
And so I thought that's pretty much what tango was.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I graduated from uni, but in the back of my head, I was like, tango, tango, tango. And I'd seen True Lies and maybe not quite Scent of a Woman at this point, but there's a tango in that Puerto Cabeza that, you know, everyone knows. Is that?
Por una cabeza.
Sure. And so all of that in my head was tango, but it wasn't until I actually started dancing tango that I found out that it was all this music that was actually Puerto Cabeza is an older Gardel tune.
Sure.
But it wasn't Piazzolla. People don't dance to Piazzolla.
Right,
it's actually all about De Sarli, D'Arienzo, Biaggi, all these composers that are from the 30s and 40s and 50s that made the golden age of tango dance music the thing. So I was drawn into the whole thing by dancing because I really love moving and music.
Yeah, of course.
And gradually I started playing a bit more tango until maybe 4 years ago I joined Mendoza Tango Quartet.
Yeah.
Which is a quintet when we have our singer.
Yeah.
And that's when I just, really fell in love with the music.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, for a while there I was like, well, I don't know, I'm dancing to this old stuff. But when I had the music in front of me and I was hearing the dance in my head, it was just this magical thing. So I just love it. I've just always loved the idea of tango, and now I'm doing the thing, and it's like, this is it.
Yeah, it's
this
great, right? That's the dream.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So cool. I love tango. It's so beautiful playing
so
with you
good.
and listening to it.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. And tell me about the violin, relationship with music. Mum and dad play? When did you start playing?
Mum and dad do not play. The three of us kids, I've got a brother and sister. We grew up close to a school where there was this amazing music teacher called Kay Hartwig, and she, I think, was just really inspirational. My mum and dad had seen her do some work and stuff with some kids at the school, like doing barbershop quartets with like, you know, 12-year-old boys.
Wow,
and so they were like, we want that woman, that lovely lady in our children's lives. And so we all started learning piano with her, and gradually we each picked up an individual instrument. My brother the trumpet, my sister the cello, and myself the violin. I never chose the violin. She just kind of like, by teaching me piano, she'd kind of worked out that I'd probably be okay at the violin with my ear.
Cool.
And so the thing was that I wanted to play the trumpet.
Really? But your brother ended up playing?
I worshipped my brother because he was playing the trumpet. I was like, I'm going to play the trumpet too. But I didn't. I played the violin. But I'm so happy with Mr. Violin. So the reason I ended up studying music at uni wasn't because I really chose that either. I just fell into that too. My grandmother moved in with us. We built a house for her behind our house when I was about 10, and she would just be playing classical music on these CDs all day, every day. Just so much romantic stuff, Bruch, Beethoven. And there was a particular piece of music that she really loved called the Bruch Violin Concerto that when I was about 16, she said, here, listen to this. And because she loved it so much, I was like, I just want to be able to play it for her.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I had spent a lot of my life playing hymns and stuff that she loved. Like she'd sort of circle in the hymn book, the ones that number 56 is Amazing Grace. And, you know, like, and so I'd learn these songs even though they were kind of a bit difficult. So at this point, my life was about, I just need to play this piece of music for grandma. So I started practicing like I'd never practiced before.
Wow, sure.
And I got so good that my violin teacher was like, have you thought about auditioning at university?
Yeah, wow.
And I thought, no, I was going to do nursing or something. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. And so I got in and I studied at UQ.
Yeah, wow.
So that's when I really realised that I did love playing the violin. And graduating from music, you get, you know, a degree and I can play my instrument now, but not necessarily a job.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I did start teaching privately,
Yeah.
but gradually I sort of started joining random bands like Deep Blue Orchestra.
Yeah.
Is a crazy rock orchestra.
Yeah.
And, bits and pieces kind of came into my life in terms of performance. But I'm probably answering another question now.
Yeah, no, it's really good, super interesting. Especially, I guess, with your classical background and going more towards the contemporary, still like trying to get into an orchestra, you know, and like you follow a different journey in a sense, which is cool, right?
It's cool. So it's funny because I was doing, we're going to fast forward 15 years, but I was doing I do these little solo shows, like in a theatre, but also quite just in an intimate sort of, household type thing. And this lady asked me, she said, yes, but have you ever wondered what it would be like to play in an orchestra, or is that something that you wanted to do? Yeah. And yes, I've played in an orchestra. Like I played in Queensland Orchestra, Queensland Youth Orchestra for a couple of years, and I think I grew and got a lot out of that. But the answer to that question ultimately is no. There's been a couple of points that I'm like, should I audition just to prove that I could get in? Or do I really want to sit in an orchestra with 100 people playing that one style in terms of style? I mean, they play Lord of the Rings and they get into all the things. But I now know about myself that I'm an entertainer, probably first and foremost. Sure. Violin is part of that. Yeah, of course. I love the violin, and I've practiced it a lot, even more in the last few years because I want to be better at it. Yeah, sure. But I'm really keen on connection with the audience. Absolutely. So back to uni days, I actually started busking outside the pharmacy that I was working at with my aunt. Yeah. And I made 4 times what I was making in the pharmacy, just standing here playing with my violin. And it was just great. Just there's the money, there's the cash, like right in front of me. It's addictive. I never have to do anything else ever again. Just stand around and busk. And so, but to busk and to make money, you've got to play things that people want to hear
and connect to. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like I can't just play Mozart all day. I've got to learn Led Zeppelin. I've got to learn Jason Mraz. I've got to learn the jazz song and everything else. And so, in the end, I started learning all these contemporary type things. Yeah. Deep Blue Orchestra was a band, that orchestra thing that I was in, and they tend to play mostly popular, 60s, 70s sort of stuff. So they also, but their idea was always, let's get rid of the stands and all the barriers between us and the audience. You stand up when
you play, right?
Oh, we dance.
Yeah, you dance. How cool.
I actually still walk.
Oh, awesome.
And play with the violin. So it's not for the... It's for anyone it's for the low attention span. So there's a lot going on at any one point. So I think I've taken Deep Blue and just sort of done my own thing a lot of the time with that. So awesome. So it has meant now I play with a rock band, Smashing Pumpkins. Wow. They just do rock covers, and I play my electric violin, and various other bands, contemporary group called Luminescence, which is a string quartet.
Yeah, so them you guys playing is beautiful.
Thank you. And now these days a bit more theatre stuff. So I sort of do a bit of singing and acting and moving around with the violin.
Fantastic.
And then the kids show.
So tell me about the kids show. Yeah, I've been watching your shows on Instagram.
Oh, love you.
Super cool.
Thank you. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. So the thing is that, it was like...
What is it called again?
It's called Lizzieland.
Lizzieland, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so this is my kids show that I started up during, especially beginning of COVID last year, the lockdowns and stuff was March. And I started it up because there was a few reasons. All those lovely bands that I was just talking about, suddenly there were no gigs.
Of course,
So I had some free Saturdays, some free time in general. And I love my nieces and nephews, so I've got 6 of them. And I guess in those first few weeks I wasn't able to see them. Yeah. So I thought it was a really great way of kind of communicating with them to kind of start some sort of thing that's live and online that I can kind of like communicate with kids. And I was also thinking of a family out in Blackall, which is like 12 hours sort of northwest, who a couple of years ago established a really good relationship with. The kids would come visit me. went out to, they've got this shearer's quarters and it's just in the middle of nowhere. And I was staying there with my parents, which is a couple of kilometres away from the house where these kids were. But they would come and visit me every morning. And I was trying to practice for a tango thing at the time. And I was like, I had this, big show. Yeah. But they'd come to me and every day it'd be Twinkle Twinkle, it'd be the heel and toe polka, it'd be all this stuff. And they just, it was amazing. I mean, these kids, they're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, sure.
And I love that. And I've always wanted, since that point, I've been like, how can I get a bit of this out there?
Yeah, of course.
So, Lizzie Land, last year, I was like, well, I'm just going to do a live thing on Facebook and see how we go. Yeah. And it turned into 30 shows. I couldn't stop. I was doing it every
You're having
single...
so much fun.
So much fun. Every single week
That's so cool.
for 30 weeks. So
wow.
Tell
me a bit about the show. So you dress up, you become a character. Is it a specific character?
Well, I should have brought his hat, but this is actually Mr. Violin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he has. It was one of my friends actually that suggested that I should actually
he's got eyes.
Turn my violin into a character. So he's actually got a top hat as well, which I didn't bring. I didn't think I'd be talking about, Lizanne. Here we are. So this is Mr. Violin, and he's my best friend, and I love him very much, and he loves me. And he's a bit shy. He doesn't feel the cold because he's from Europe.
Okay, sure.
But Electrina feels the cold. So she is my electric violin. She's got needs, so she wears scarves and everything. So tomorrow's episode, which is going to be actually in real life, the two of them are going to have a conversation about winter.
Okay, awesome.
He's going to try and teach her how to play, Vivaldi's Winter.
Of course, yeah.
And sing a few songs and whatever. So that's just an example for tomorrow. But in general, so it morphed. So as I started doing these shows, the very first one was like, I'm just going to sing Twinkle Twinkle and Incy Wincy and do a few things and turn around and that'll be it. The one thing that I did have straight away was a theme song.
Oh, cool.
Because the night before the first episode, the band that I played, the rock band, Smashing Pumpkins, we got together and I was like, guys, I think I need a theme song. That's really important. And we just, within like a minute, we'd come up with Lizzie, Lizzie Land, kicking with a wham, just because you can, Lizzie Land. This song just goes for about a minute and it's just got guitar solos in it and it's just like all over the shop. So cool. From the word go, that was sort of playing in the very first episode, but it was just off like a recording that I did on my phone. Yeah. So that was pretty funny. And then a couple of episodes in, a really good friend, Huey from Fat Picnic, he made an actual track.
Okay, cool.
That just sounded a little bit better.
Yeah, nice.
With the Lizzie Land thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, there's this whole, like any kid show needs this continued sort of things that are the same every time. So we got my theme song at the beginning.
Okay, sure, yeah.
I had the Stairs song because we had stairs on our Queenslander, which was the house that I was in at the time. And so as I'd go up the stairs, I'd put the camera on selfie. Oh, by the way, my mum was filming. And so she would pass the phone over to me and I put it on selfie mode and I'd go 1 step, 2 step, hello to you, Amy. So it was their chance of saying, hey, I'm here. And if you
because you can see who's watching,
you can see who's watching, Well, the mothers or whatever need to be like, Amy's here, or, all the youngs are here.
Nice.
And so 7, 8, 9, 10, welcome to my land. At that point, I'm at the top of the stairs. And I walk into the room. So there'd be this sort of room where I could set up my phone on a tripod and be more studio-like.
Yeah, sure.
And sing songs, and there'd be some sort of theme. Yeah. We had the butterfly theme where I actually wrote a song about butterflies. There's actually many songs about butterflies. Butterfly, butterfly up in the sky. Butterfly, butterfly flying so high. Put the butterfly wings on and just off we go. And we're waltzing around. Cute. It's a really great time. There was actually an episode that we tied a fishing line to Mr. Violin. And to a broom, and Mum was holding it
so he was like
behind
flying
the camera.
Around. Yeah.
So he's going,
special effects and stuff.
And it looks like he's dancing. It's so funny. And then I brought in Electrina probably by episode 7, and it's called Mr. Violin Meets Electrina.
Ooh.
And that whole episode was like, whoa. He's like, oh my goodness, it's a friend for me. And so I had a violin craft in that episode. It's like you can actually make your own violin.
Yeah, wow.
So they're all different. For boys, I had a build your cubby You gotta build your cubby with a strong foundation. You gotta build your, you gotta start your digger, then you gotta fill your dump truck, you gotta drive that wood. So the whole thing's like all those words.
And do you kind of improvise those songs at the moment, or do you plan it? Are you a planner?
Those ones were completely written out and planned because they were, it was like the whole episode was like, this is the theme.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but there were things like, and I had a bird watching one, which was just awesome, and I had pictures and stuff of all of the lots of Australian birds, and you know, no one has any clue that you know what's a bird that you just hear some sounds around. It's like I actually don't know what that bird is.
There's the butcher bird, you know the butcher bird. Yeah.
Yes,
so
that's butcher bird.
Apparently they learn, right? So they start young, they don't know how to whistle very well. Like the songs are very limited, but as they grow, they listen and they like literally improvise, and the song become more complex. It's super cool. They're like jazz musicians.
And they actually imitate as well.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we used to have them on
the lyrebird,
Queenslander, just like the lyrebird, but they would sit on this balcony and I'd sort of start playing piano. Yeah. And this guy would come along. And I would just stop playing piano for like a couple of seconds, and I would hear this. What is that? And it's this little butcher bird just going through his whole repertoire.
Wow.
He's just loving it.
Awesome.
Show off.
He's having a jam.
Having a jam by himself. But he would always start when I would play the piano.
Wow. That's
so
cool.
Lizzieland is like so many different things.
Awesome.
And I think, like, I've been wanting to make it into a TV show, and I want to do, like, I want to tour it around and stuff, but all that requires...
like theatres and stuff. And now you put it live, so I'm sure it's going to happen, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just requires people and time and money.
Sure. Yeah, of course,
So,
I'm sure there's a producer over there.
That'd be... Anyone?
That's so cool.
So, that's probably where...
Where you are with the show. Congratulations.
Thank
Super
you,
cool.
Thank
well
you.
Done.
Yeah, Mr. Violin. Yay.
And we were talking outside before, you know, like our filmographer had the idea, you know, ask this question, which maybe laughs just thinking about it, about like crazy gigs and you know that we had in our careers, I guess. You know, so what's a gig that you really loved, and what's a gig that you thought, not that you hated, but that you think like, God, this is crazy, or so like
this is really
insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
So look, the thing that sticks the most in my mind, and I love giving this this story to kids when they feel a little bit of stage fright. Yeah. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen type thing, you know, like I'm naked on stage, or, you know, that's basically never going to happen, is it?
Sure.
But the worst possible thing ever for me did actually happen.
Oh, God, oh, no.
And so I feel like I could definitely, now, like normally, I'm just like, it's just easy to perform because I've always got that back in the back of my mind.
You couldn't go worse than that.
I'm in Vietnam with Deep Blue.
Yeah.
We used to do a lot of Asia, and we were there for some festival, I think. I think we were in Hue, and I was stilt walking.
Oh, gosh.
With the two
like
other...
Really, like stilt, like...
We're talking stilt walking,
wow.
I learned how to stilt walk off Wayne Jennings. He's the one that started it all.
Yeah.
He stilt walks with a cello, so all the cellists in Deep Blue actually hang their cellos behind their necks like this.
Wow.
So he's doing this with the carbon fibre cello on his stilts, and there was Evan on his stilts, and there was me. Now, the stage was outside, and it was very humid. And the smoke machine was overworking.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And the floor from the word go was just weirdly slippery.
Yeah.
By the time we went to perform, so we'd done sound checks and stuff, and it was like, oh, this is sort of okay. We went to perform, and it was like, this is sort of bad. Yeah. We probably shouldn't be stilt walking. Yeah. But we did the routine. Yeah. And we got through it. It's like we sort of walk out, and we do a thing, and and it was moving around. I mean, I'm not like I've learned how to walk on stilts, but I wouldn't say that I'm world's best stilt walker. But I can still walk. But when it comes to slippery stage, these are peg stilts, so you've actually got to keep moving. It's not like plaster stilts that you can just stand still and like, you know, it's just easy. This is like, you're going to keep moving. If you don't, you'll fall. Yeah. And so I had turned around and was going off stage to just, you know, exit and then get, you know, get my stilts off and then get back on the stage, which is normally what happens. Yeah. the way you get off is there's a chair on the table.
Yeah.
And you go and sit on the chair, and then you can take your stilts off. And then
someone helps you or no?
So we like to have spotters.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
right,
but often I haven't had spotters. Yeah, it can be pretty bad. Anyway, I was heading off stage, and we have a DJ on stage with us, a guy that does all the backing tracks and various other electronic stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Fall straight on him. Just slipped.
Oh shoot.
And somehow it managed to stop the track.
Oh, really?
So this is so Deep Blue is like there's 16 people on stage, big sound. But if there's no backing track, there's just, that's it, because everyone just goes, what do we do now? Yeah. But also I'd gone, it's like we got to this like dubstep moment in the song. And I'm like, yes, I've finished the routine. I haven't stacked it. Woo! And then like the audience and everyone Deep Blue.
Everyone's like, oh gosh.
And I was okay. Mr. Violin was okay. And somehow I think Alan, was it Alan? Yeah, managed to kind of press play again.
Oh, really?
So keep the sound, keep the something going. Yeah. And I was fine. And I had to drag myself off the stage. Wow. So because you can't, like, you're attached.
Yeah, so you're like...
And so I was like...
Oh my
took them off and I ran back on and I was like, all good, everyone, all good. But it was so humiliating for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was really happy that, I hadn't injured myself because I had a previous back problem.
Yeah.
But in terms of pride, So for me, stage now, it's like, look, I've got 2 feet standing on the ground. I'm not in stilts. What a win. Yeah. Like this, it doesn't get, in terms of nerves.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So that's my worst.
Wow.
The worst.
I had, Bruce Springsteen, once I had him on an interview, and he said this beautiful thing. He said, if you got stage fright, you're nervous. That same energy that when you're nervous is the same energy that when you're excited.
It is. You got to harness the good part of that.
Yeah. So you can say, okay, I can be nervous. Yeah. Okay, actually, no, I'm just excited. So use that same kind of buzz, the excitement, the adrenaline to put it towards a positive...
positive thing. No, it's really
well
important.
Done, Bruce.
That's in Happy Gilmore. Have you seen Happy Gilmore?
No.
Harness the good energy, block out the bad.
Really?
Send him home. Gotta go see that. But that's so true. Nerves are really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And it has gotten to the point that in some shows I'm not nervous anymore. And it's like, but now I'm not excited.
Yeah, sure.
I need some excitement.
Yeah. Totally.
So it does help. It does help to be a little bit nervous.
Get the adrenaline going.
Yeah, adrenaline.
Do some jumps.
I'm about to die.
This is it. I gotta do it.
Actually, needing to go to the toilet is helpful. It's like I should. No, I won't go to the bathroom. Yeah. I'll just be like this the whole show. Woo!
That's my greatest nightmare. It's like, I have to pee. Like sometimes, can you guys play for like more than an hour? I was like, no way. For me, it's like 45 minutes.
Yeah, no.
And now it's like, I have to pee. I'm so sorry.
There's a break.
Exactly.
We've got to have a break. Yeah, unless there's a hole in the chair.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Liz.
Thank you.
Talking to you and listening to Mr. Violin sing so beautifully.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So we're going to play a new song or another song?
We're going to do a valse.
A valse,
So apparently in the tango times there were... tango started in the mines, apparently, and guys would dance with each other. And because they got sick of that, they were like, let's get some prostitutes in. So this is like just where it all started. It's like a great start.
Totally.
And so it was a little bit like, I don't know if we should be dancing tango. And I think this is the story of valse.
Oh, really?
Is that there was some places that they were playing tango in the streets or wherever they were. But when the officials would sort of, walk by, suddenly they'd start playing a valse because they're a little bit more innocent.
More kind of like, more
proper.
It's like,
what a proper.
Serious,
I'm just playing a Strauss waltz.
Yeah.
It's like Blue Danube.
That's so cool.
I think that's where they came about and they became an actual thing. And they're one of my favourite things to dance to because they're just like fun and just lots of movement. And
awesome.
This one that we're going to play is actually one of the more sadder ones. It's called Corazon de Oro, which is Heart of Gold.
Heart of Gold.
Heart of Gold.
Yeah. Beautiful. Wow, thanks so much. Let's do
it.
it.
Ready?
like it. If you really liked it, please don't forget to subscribe, give it a like. And if you really, really, really like it, you want to support us, don't forget to go to the link down below and go to our Patreon account where you can help us keep going. Thank you so much.